coming to the stage. No, coming up next is an amazing, like, just, I'm thinking, I'm feeling all Def Jam, feeling all comedy-ish, but because we've got a little clip we're going to show,
Yes,
but
I'm gonna put.
if
Tell me
you
when you're
if
ready.
you've ever wondered what would happen if you were forewarned about the pandemic, we have a comic and a filmmaker who made a film to tell us exactly what that conversation would look like, time travel at its best. We got a little trailer for you.
Here we go.
Listen, man, don't freak out. I'm you 6 months from now. I got about 180 seconds to tell you what's going on. 180 seconds.
So, so funny.
Welcome.
I should have made a better trailer. That trailer's terrible. I'm sorry.
No. Like,
I like the robe.
It's just like it's just me being like, there's a movie. You should watch it. That's it. There's no
You know
joke.
who you remind me of? You remind me of the scientist from that HBO show.
Westworld, Jeffrey Wright.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah.
are.
There you go.
Right.
Wow,
There you
did you just, hey Perry, did you just pull a Google on her? Like she gave you half a sentence and you're like, you know what you mean. There you go.
No, listen, there were jokes in there about me looking like him, but that didn't make the cut. That didn't make the cut.
But it's so
Oh.
funny.
There you go.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing I'm pulling some Jeffrey Wright with that head. That's a Jeffrey Wright uncut
Right.
kept head.
Yes, it is very powerful.
Thank-
Welcome, Perry.
Thank
Sean,
you.
to the broadcast. You're
Thanks
welcome.
for having me, guys. It's awesome to be here.
You're welcome. Let me just say this first because I'm totally excited that you're here. To everybody, if you have not seen 180 Seconds, please, not right now, wait till this show is over. And after please go and check out this. It will make your night. It will just, this is the church lady. She is coming out. It will bless you in a lot of ways. It's so fun. It's hilarious. It's everything. It's everything. I know everybody on the panel has questions, but I gotta ask. Like, I want to just say this. I was reading a piece, your bio, in an article, and it talked about a little bit of depression had set in. After seeming, what it sounded like was that you were kind of on a roll with, your acting roles and getting booked, and then all of a sudden, shit came to a halt.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, everyone came into 2020. This is even number. We get rid of Trump. It's gonna be great. Everything's gonna.
Right.
We're all gonna win. Everyone's gonna make
Perfect
more
vision.
money. And and just like the short says, we had fires and failed impeachment, and then, I'll be honest. In February, I was working as a technical director on State of the Culture, which is a hip hop talk show with Joe Budden. And then I also booked an acting role on Bold, a CBS show. I was like February jamming. Yo, COVID hit. I didn't make any effing money. I don't know. Can we curse on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't make any fucking money since February, y'all. I'm so fucked up.
That's fucking bullshit.
It's so terrible, and I'm just like, but we all know, especially
Right.
we're all in the arts and we're comics, actors. There's, even our sidelines are gone. Whatever we did, it was just gone. Everything's just wiped out, and I tried to stay, productive. I started taking a lot of photos. I also do photography, and then, but I noticed that the hair was growing, and I'd gained maybe 4 or 5 pounds, which I was working on being healthy, and I was like, oh, I think, and the idea came, and then I'm going to gain 20 pounds, and I'm going to make a movie.
Yes.
So you gained your quarantine 20, and so that's the quarantine 15, quarantine 20.
That is the best excuse I've ever heard.
Art, I gained 20 pounds because I didn't know what the fuck to do. What the hell?
Right.
Hey, listen, De Niro, Christian Bale.
Right.
Oh,
Right. They
yeah.
all did it. They all did it.
I'm trying, I did it for no money. I did it for myself, but that was my tryout. That's my tryout for the real one.
That's
For the real
right.
one.
Some method acting right there.
Did you I mean, and I guess this is the obvious question, but did you sit down to write it? Like, tell us about idea and concept before shooting.
Honestly, I wasn't sure what this was going to be. I was thinking it was going to be me playing twin brothers who kind of use time travel to rob somebody because we're broke in COVID. That was the original idea.
Wow.
But I was just so angry about everything I was seeing. We had the protests going on. It's just there was a lot, and I just was like, all right, I gotta say something, And honestly, I wrote the first draft in probably 2 hours, and then I wrote the second draft in an hour and a half, and then I shot it the next 2 days.
Wow.
It was one of those things like you want to hear some story. It just came out. And the first cut of it that we had was a 20-minute assembly edit because there's so much that happened this year, and there was so much craziness, there's so much hypocrisy, and so much just blatant, just insane things that we're all just watching, and it's just going. Everyone's just taking it to the face. Then we got it down to six and a half, and then we got it down to 3.5. And that's when it was like, you know what? We're just gonna do 180 seconds. I said it for the title. We were like, maybe we'll make a 360-second version. And we're like, look, let's just do 180. The clock is ticking. And because if you got to see yourself, and what would you say? It's like you wouldn't have all. I don't think you would have all the time, or at least it wouldn't be fun if you had all the time in the world to do it.
Right.
But also, obviously those two people would have. There'd be more you'd want to say, but you can't fit it all in, and that's kind of. I wanted it to be kind of jumbled and rushed, and that the guy in the past, he's not really okay with what's happening until as it ends. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. I'm talking to me," and he's gone. Because you'd be like, "What the fuck is this? What?" Especially looking terrible. You're like, "What? What is this?"
Yeah, like don't eat pancakes when you get.
So yeah. So yeah, it was really. I hate to say it, it's the easiest thing I've ever written.
Wow, but I think that's how the goods are. That's how the goods are. As a filmmaker, because you're an actor, a comic, and a filmmaker, who are your influences as a filmmaker?
I mean, if you go with current, of course, Christopher Nolan. He's, Adam McKay, because he's great at being serious and doing comedic stuff. Christopher McQuarrie doing the Mission Impossible stuff. But then I guess I don't know, all-time greats. Gee, I'm not even sure. I mean, like. I like old Charles Bronson movies. I like blaxploitation. I like I like Quentin Tarantino up to Jackie Brown. I mean, I like all the real and I like intense shit with a lot of cursing and violence, pretty much.
I didn't see Jackie Brown. I meant to see it because a friend of mine likes it. But tell me, does he make her talk exactly with the same dialogue he would say like every other character he writes?
No. It's Pam Grier being Pam Grier.
All right, cool.
Yeah. No, it's that's yeah. I don't think he could have told her to talk anyway, but how she talked, I think she would have smacked the shit out of that guy.
No, because Quentin Tarantino was a huge fan of Foxy Brown, if I'm not mistaken,
and Coffee too. Coffee,
so he was trying to capture that flavor pretty much.
Yeah, she's the best.
Classics.
Yep. What else you got? What else?
Well, there's so many things because I was like trying to look at. It's a short, but there's always like curious about was there a filmmaker in particular of everybody you listed that kind of you felt like you were honing in on that style at all? Like, do you know what I'm saying? But I mean, you named so many great influences, but that you took a stab at sci-fi,
Right. Well, that was you have to explain this occurrence, and that's the only way to go is science fiction. You know what? I'm obsessed with Rick and Morty, and that, and I mean, when I go to the gym, I wear my Rick and Morty hoodie. That means I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna go work out. I've seen that whole show, man, and once again, this is modern stuff, but I mean, I like all kinds of time travel, science fiction stuff. Originally, the short was called 88 Seconds because it was supposed to be like Back to the Future.
Yeah. Right.
But you can't say shit in 88 seconds.
Right?
Yeah, and a question. Oh.
Go.
I was going to have a question here is like every time there's a time travel thing, you have a ton of nerds that come into the comments and go, here's all your inconsistencies scientifically. Have you dealt with any of that with this?
No, not yet. I don't think as much as, we're doing well, we just hit the 300,000 mark on YouTube. And then, with Leslie Jones got over 150,000 views. So we have been seen by 500,000 people in total but on my page it's only
Wow.
a little bit over 300,000. And I think when we get to that, if we get to that million point, enough people will start talking about it, because there's an inconsistency. I won't say what it is. There's actually two. They're blatant, but no one has said anything, and I'm like, word, great. I mean, the thing with the way we cut that is just that we didn't give you a chance to really notice it. It's just like either your butt cheeks are clenched and you're holding on through those jokes, and you might have to rewind it to catch some of the jokes in there, you know.
Yeah.
I love all the jokes. So how when I saw that Leslie Jones had caught on, do you know her, or did she find it on her own? And
I've met her. I've hung out with her a few times through common friends. But she didn't see it through me. She saw it through a comic named Lenny Marcus, who I know. He said, "Leslie, you need to see this." Sent it to her, and then she put it on her Instagram and her Twitter and all that.
Nice.
What's crazy about that is Leslie ended her Netflix special, on time travel, which in any way did she talk, like, have you actually talked to Leslie at all, or did she just repost it and praise you?
No. We text. I was like, Leslie, well, how did you see this? And she was like, hey, what's up? Great job. You know, she's super cool. Because we've met before. One of my close friends is Greer Barnes. He's an older comic, been around forever. And you know, because he performs at the Cellar, I hang out there and you know meet everybody. But it was just like, hey, what's up? Thank you so much. And she's like, oh, no problem. This is amazing. And it was pretty just whatever. She's like, yeah, great. She goes, you this deserves to be seen. Good luck. You know.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually
Beautiful.
what it reminded me when I saw your video because of Dana, and I was like, this reminds me so much of Leslie Jones. And I had no idea that she had reposted your video. But the fact that you brought that to life, but you gave it such a nice perspective into it, I have to, well, this is my question towards you. Is there something, now that things have progressed and it's been some time after, just a couple months after, would you change anything about your video?
I mean, you know, so you know that was shot the very beginning of July, and my editor, he was busy with work. I was busy. I was prepping for a play. I ended up not doing, so we didn't really start cutting till August, and then we don't get the movie out until September 4th. And we're like, you know, now we're like, oh God, there's time relevance. We're running out. You know, like things are going to happen. Like, you know. I don't want to say it's terrible, but like, thank God we got it out before Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Because if that wasn't in there, they're like, that would have been, but it predates that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a terrible, but that would have been in there. You know what I'm saying? It would have been like, oh my God, you know, but you know, the explosion in Lebanon, it's really, that's the only thing I would have added is really, you know, a few more factual things that happen. It's just like, yeah, you know, this happened, but
Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman, oh my God, yeah, and I've got to meet him, you know, and
oh yeah,
this
I saw that.
Wonderful person, and yeah, Chadwick, that's crazy. I'll start crying now. But I will tell you what I would change. I think now if it came out a little bit later, it would just be how, you know, the government has forsaken or just forgotten 30 million unemployed people. And like, it's like, oh, well, you know, just stay home and watch your resources run out. And hopefully you won't be homeless by the time I'm elected again or get thrown out. So that $1,200 for 3 months word would be now $1,200 for 7 months, for 8 months, $1,200 to live off for 8 months. Word, really? You know, like, it's really more the same. Nothing has gotten better. That's the sad thing.
Meanwhile, while they're still getting their over $3,000 a week paychecks, the same guys they know.
No pay. They have not taken a pay cut at all. Anybody who's, you know, on red or blue, nobody's taking a cut.
They had what was it, Nancy Pelosi on what was it, Wolf Blitzer, and he was trying to, you know, get her to at least, you know, acknowledge that there's a stimulus needs to come through, regardless of the election. It needs to come through now. You know,
I mean, if we go, I mean, listen, I'm you know, from acting and stuff, I made a little bit of something, but if this continues, I'm like my next short's about homelessness, and it's a documentary. God damn it, it's gonna be me in the streets.
You've mentioned so many additional events that have happened since the release of this film that I'm like, I think we need a sequel to show how bad it's gone.
No sequel. No sequel.
Robert Zemeckis didn't want to do Back to the Future 2 and 3, so I mean,
he doesn't want to do a sequel because then he has to have some kid that does one-liners the whole time too. So you know.
No sequels, man. No sequels. No, we're moving forward. But everyone keeps asking for it. You know, like if it hits 10 million views, all right, fine, we'll do a sequel.
Well, okay, all right,
you know,
all right. So you guys heard that? Everybody heard that? 10 million views.
10 million views. 10 million views. We'll make it. We'll 180 seconds again. We'll do it.
Yeah. You go back to even before.
I saw right. I saw the. Tell us a little bit about Mandem. Like I was trying to sort that. Like I was like, what? Because it's like I think that's the tough thing. Whenever you have like the one huge hit, and then we're all like, well, what else has he made, or what else is he doing? And then you feel like, you know, we're still like we're looking at this shiny thing. But tell us a little bit about Mandem. What inspired those clips?
So you're talking about. So I have Mandem, which is actually a music project, and then there's Mandem Thoughts, which is
Mandem
like
Thoughts.
talking.
I'm sorry, Mandem Thoughts.
Okay, Mandem Thoughts. Gotcha. So Mandem Thoughts was just me going, all right, I needed an outlet. I was doing photography through March and April, and in May I finally was like, all right, let me talk about some of these things, and it was just me kind of giving one-liners, thought of the day. You know, it's just my old man realizations, because you know you have those and you want to share, and as an old guy you want to give it to the young guys, like, guys, don't fuck it up like I did, guys, you could do better, you know.
Right.
And I will say I'm surprised, like it didn't really go. It didn't go at all, actually, to be honest. I put it out and it was like 2 views. You're like, all right. And I personally talk to 8 or 9, 10 people a day. That means those motherfuckers didn't even watch it. You know what I'm saying?
You kids didn't watch my special. Why didn't you watch my special?
But I don't know. 180 seconds though, man. Just like but you have in that the line where you say you're like that they paid, but like or racism, and you said not enough to pay for it. Like that line. For me, that is the multi-generational line, because that is something that I know I would hear my father, my uncle, my grandfather, you know, when they still here. That's the type of stuff they would say. And I think that was the other thing that I found so amazing about 180 seconds, that you just were able to sweep everything together, like over across generations. And then, you know, given the timeline, when you guys were making the joke about the stimulus and the 1,200, and your present self was like 1,200 a month, you were like, no, 1,200 one time, like because you know, and that joke I found powerful. Why? Because at the time when I got my 1,200, we didn't think we were gonna be in this shit another 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? We figured, you know, everybody agreed that 1,200 was nice. You know, not generous, but nice and something to be thankful for. Right. But then you guys shot that in July. It comes out in September. But none of us thought that we would, you know, that when and bless the heart of the government, you know, if we could ever say anything positive, I'm guessing that they didn't think that we would be in this for 7-8 months, and that the 1,200. Okay, right.
I'm sorry. Listen. I'm nobody, and I don't want to be the guy. You didn't know. You guys weren't talking to me in March and May, and I was like, this year's gone, motherfucker. I said it straight. I was like, the year is wiped out. Asia locked that shit down because those people listen to directions. You know, people can follow rules. They don't have no, but it's okay. It's me. That's what all Americans think. Well, yeah, y'all got to do that, but it's okay. It's me. Go not wash my hands and lick doorknobs and breathe on people and shit. So you're like, we're done. Like, we honestly, vaccine or herd immunity, that's it. Those are the only options, because we're disgusting. And there's a lot. See, me saying that's in the long version of. This is the thing. There was shit in that short. It would not be. It'd be a different. I'd be like getting canceled because of that short. There's a different version where it's an angry old black man talking, and you're like, oh shit, this nigga done lost it. You know.
Some of us wouldn't say that. We'd get canceled faster.
Right. That's for sure.
Good one, Dan. Good one. So what is next? I mean, I know we're still stuck in COVID, but like like as a filmmaker, because until I started doing the research on you, I didn't realize you were a comedian. So like, kind of give us any breakdowns, like what's next for you as a comic. We
You,
know that the acting thing is what it is, and you
right,
know.
right. I will tell you. I mean, I stopped doing stand up the December before COVID.
Okay.
I didn't stop because of COVID. I hit a wall with comedy. I was like, I was staying up till like 2 in the morning to do stand up, and then I was trying to be fresh for an audition at 9, 10 in the morning, and it wasn't working out.
Right.
And what I was getting for doing stand up, it wasn't enough to not be good for an audition.
Wait, you were getting stuff for doing stand up?
No, listen, very little, very little. Listen, an occasional 30, 40, like it's really nothing to even be mentioned. And,
here's a quarter. Go buy a gum.
and I think it's one of those things. I realize, I don't know if you guys got a chance. My stand up is online. It's on my channel. It's pretty raw. It's dirty. It's very counterculture. If you thought Bill Burr set was upsetting, you'll see my shit. White girl's head will explode in my in when I'm talking. So
it's weird. For the longest time, I thought counterculture just described vocal people with OCD.
Well, I'm one of those too. So I mean, So yeah, I want to come back to it. I do want to come back to
our Bill Burr conversation. I think it's also different when someone who's lived the experience, and I still have so much respect for Bill Burr, but people's heads should not explode when the person who's experienced this is talking about their personal experience. I think So anyway, you were just saying that in comparison.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, the Bill Burr set really made me happy and made me love comedy again because I'm not really. I mean, Saturday Night Live is what it is, but it never has that edge to it. I mean, even the closest it's gotten is, of course, when Chappelle was on, and his didn't even hit that level of edge. It didn't really it didn't poke the bear the way Bill Burr did, and I think it's really wonderful that he is who he is, but he identifies because he's got a black wife, so he hears some shit, and she's like these goddamn white bitches, and he's like, honey, I know, honey, and he's like, I'm gonna tell him for you, I'm gonna tell him, and it was wonderful. It made me go, okay, but you know what? If you're an unknown comic and you walk into any one of these clubs, if the clubs exist, if you're in 5 years in or 10 years in, and someone doesn't really feel you, and you tell some shit like that, you ain't getting brought back.
No,
you got it.
It goes back to Lenny Bruce. He said things that were completely unacceptable back then. He went to jail for it, and at the end of the day, it's observational comedy. Whether somebody chooses to talk about it or not, I like the idea of pushing the limit.
I love it too. Sometimes I get so close to the edge, I gotta crawl back up. So,
well, I mean, you gotta have the rebel rousers, and
sometimes you gotta jump off.
And you gotta have the people that burn the envelope and push it. I mean, you may not, some people might get offended, but I mean, if you worry about that too much, you may not have the classics that we have today,
but
whether you like them or not.
To get offended. The only thing now is somebody has social media to go ahead and actually voice their opinion compared to back then where good luck, maybe you had a microphone. So I mean, everyone has a voice now, but
too many people have voices now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We need to turn a lot of the keyboards and the mics off. We need some people to shut the fuck up.
I want to shout out Ronnie Schoonover because he says, I can't wait to see this now in reference to 180 seconds. We've got all these great comments over here. So that's, so we hope so.
Really good.
I was
that's
just
great.
looking.
Let's get it to 10 million, guys. We want a sequel.
Yeah, we want a sequel. Like,
with the wisecracking kid.
What would be your dream feature to make, Perry? Like if you every filmmaker wants. We want to shoot, direct a feature. What would be your dream feature? Not,
Um,
and you
I
don't have to give us the pitch. We're not saying that, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no. I mean, I could tell you kind of what I have planned. So I have another short that I wrote last year that I just never got around shooting, and I actually like it better than I like 180 seconds in some ways. So I'm excited to finally shoot that. And I'm going to shoot that probably in 2 weeks. There's a short I shot with my friend who's comedian Greer Barnes, and it's just us having like a conversation where I'm trying to pitch him jokes, and they're really unacceptable jokes, and his face, the whole bit is watching his face in shock that I'm willing to say these things on camera. So I might undo everything that 180 seconds is doing for my career. But the feature,
Blaze
honestly,
of
I think
Glory.
I want to start small. I'm gonna do some like a black and white, just talky thing. A little bit. It might be COVID. I'm not sure, but I don't know. A romance COVID comedy thing. I don't know. I got to finish this next one, and then that's kind of my plan is to shoot some stuff through Christmas and January, providing I'm not homeless.
Oh, well, no, I hope not.
We hope you're not
I hope
homeless.
I hope we're
Yeah.
not all homeless, guys. I hope that's what I'm talking about. All of us. It's
all of us, all of us, all of us.
all of
Yeah.
us. When I say
Yeah.
me, I actually mean, I don't know if I'm stressed out. I think about single moms with 2 kids, that were struggling before this. I'm like, if I'm stressed, I'm like, that's why I think that's probably why there's a lot of new OnlyFans
Oh,
pages out
God.
there.
Oh
I think,
yeah.
Mm.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting worried. If I lose my job, I guess I'll have to go buy a bunch of butt plugs and do this a lot.
dude. Listen, in
Hey, man.
January, if you ever were going to make an indecent proposal to anyone you ever slept with, January I think is the month you're going to be like $100. Come on, that's terrible. All right, I can't say that. All right, never mind. Let's keep moving. All right, plowing through.
No, you're good.
Any questions like to everybody in the comments? Thank you for the comments, and Vanessa, thank you. I'm gonna try to get it right. Schoonover, because I was saying it wrong. She said
School's
school's
over.
over, because I'm trying to say all kind of stuff
So
to
I think
pronounce
it's
it.
schoon
Is
phonetically.
it
over.
Shinova?
It's
Is it
Schoonover.
Shinova?
School's over, Schoonover. So my apologies, but
Sharona.
to Vanessa and anybody in there, let us know if you got questions for Perry. For those who had a chance to see it, and if you haven't, make sure you check it out. But any questions?
I know my wife loved it. I showed it to my wife yesterday, and she loved it. She was laughing.
That's great.
Because I watched it several times, and I loved it. And I was like, I know we're gonna show a teaser on the show, but I was like, I need to show it to everybody, especially
Right.
some of my stubborn bullheaded family members.
Right.
And I want them to see the whole thing. There's
Right.
so
Yeah.
they'll not only see it, but they'll tune in.
I love that you show up eating something because that's actually a really subtle, beautiful thing. You show, yeah, this is what I did. I knew I was going to time travel. Anyways, I'm not going to I'm not going to finish doing this.
This is the thing. There's no one who's given up more than that man at that moment. He's given up. That's it. It's that hair, the belly, the cereal, that big bowl. That's my favorite cereal bowl. That thing's from like the '60s. It was my mom's bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
could relate.
What
Yeah.
kind of cereal? What kind of cereal was in there?
Trader Joe's. Oh no, it wasn't Trader Joe's. It was real Honey Nut Cheerios. I got so
Okay,
sick.
real. Okay.
I got so sick. I was eating Cheerios for a damn hour and a half.
Oh
My
man,
guts were just like, I'm like, oh god.
you just must have left the set and punched a bee. Like fuck you.
Oh Lord, you don't understand, man. This gut pains. Yeah, no, it's all right. We don't want to go any further than that. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was too much cereal. Don't eat too much cereal, guys. Even with almond milk, it didn't help.
Oh.
How do you milk an almond? I can't find the tits on those.
I put ice in my
They're
cereal
small.
because
They're real
it's
small, Dan.
delicious. And
It
I don't
sounds
care who I
it
have
sounds
to fight.
refreshing. It sounds refreshing.
People judge me for it, but you know what? I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's
Freaking
really
delicious,
weird as shit,
okay?
man. But yeah, it sounds refreshing.
Gotta milk the almond, man. You just milk the almond. That's it.
That's it.
It's real small though. Sorry. So we wanted to do the what time is it?
We got
Oh.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh,
Whatever you guys want to do.
And by the way, I just want to say, probably I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow or the next day, but 180 seconds, along with another short I made called "You Good," will be on Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
So yeah. I'm basically going through. I'm going to put all my short films all on Amazon Prime, but obviously everything's on YouTube as well. So, yeah.
Right. But that's
Nice.
that's a big up, getting the content everywhere.
Yep.
Schoon over because I'm still being schooled and I want to pass the class.
You're getting schooled over. That's what you're
I'm
doing.
getting schooled over.